What's happening, people? Nocturnal Thoughts. Today is September 29th, and I'm still here. Hey, I'm man of my word. If Earl Spence didn't get a knockdown, a knockout, TKO, or throwing the towel, I told you I was putting my channel on the line. We got a knockdown. It was an ugly knockdown, but Sean Porter, he showed hella heart, hella grit, determination. He showed that his jaw is steel and his will could not be broken, not even by the truth. You know what I'm saying? So proper salute goes out to both fighters, Errol Spence and Sean Porter. I salute you from Nocturnal, but I'm still here. Errol Spence is unified. It was a definite victory. You can't take away from Errol Spence. You can't take away anything from Sean Porter. They both put on a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. I nominated for Fight of the Year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to put a pin in that, go back and backtrack, and then get out y'all way. Because it was a great night and a great night of boxing overall. I didn't watch every single fight. I had some things to do, some errands to run. But I caught some of the prelims. How do you pronounce his name? Josezito Lopez. That's what I wanted to say. Josezito Lopez. He put on a great fight. Had a couple of knockdowns in the first round. That fight actually stretched out to 8 rounds, which I thought, man, you knocked this dude down. That first time he clipped him, I was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Buddy got caught vicious. And I'm thinking all he had to do is go down to that body and put him out of his misery. Dude he was fighting, I forget his name. I was calling him Glass Joe from Tyson's Punch Out. That's what he reminded me of. We was calling him Glass Joe the whole night. But he showed some heart. I didn't like his fighting stance, his fighting style. I thought he was, wide open to get dropped. He got knocked down 1, 2, maybe 4 times that fight. Finally put him away in, I think, the 8th round. So, props goes out to Josezito Lopez. He's still in the game. I don't think he poses a severe threat, but he still has a good name, and if you want a good, solid fight, he's still the man for the job. What's this young kid's name? Mario Barrios. Controversial victory. He had 2 knockdowns in that fight, but if you look at him, man, he looked like he had so much damage done to that side of his face. He looked like a defeated fighter. I thought, if anything, I have to go back and rewatch it, of course. I thought it was a controversial win. If not anything, I was looking at a draw. It looked like a draw. It looked like for the first half of the fight, he was doing a good job. He might have gassed out or start to slow down. This guy he was fighting, I can't really pronounce his name, but he actually came to fight, put on some work. I know the last 2 rounds, his corner was like, look, man, this is your time. You take these next 2 rounds and you win. And he went in there, and I think he got dropped again. It wasn't a devastating knockdown, but he got knocked down again. I think that tipped the scale. I said it was a draw, but he walks away with the L, and Mario Barrios continues his legacy. But to me it looked like that when you want to say that somebody got exposed, to me that's a more proper example of how somebody is exposed. Not to say he was exposed. I'm just saying that was a controversial win, in my opinion. It's a big stretch when you look at Errol Spence and Sean Porter and you start hearing words like exposure. I don't think there was any exposure. The only thing that was exposed in the Errol Spence fight versus Sean Porter was that both of those guys had granite chins. They both had big dog in them. They both came to fight. And the only thing that was truly exposed is that Sean Porter is 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 as tough as we all previously knew he was. You know what I'm saying? He just re-exposed that don't ever count me out and take my heart and my dog for granted. I'm a true warrior. And you know what I'm saying? He proved that, and he once again proved something that most of us already knew, is that he definitely is a warrior. But you can't say anybody was exposed. No weaknesses was exposed. Errol Spence did something that still is very, very exceptional. Very exceptional. What he did was he showed that he could out-brawl a natural-born brawler. And there's a classic saying that always says, when you got a boxer versus a brawler, that you have to outbox a brawler. And when you have a brawler versus a boxer, the brawler, if he wants to win, has to out-brawl the boxer. In other words, you can't have a brawler trying to outbox a boxer, and you can't have a boxer trying to out-brawl a brawler. That's like a conundrum. I can't think of the best word to describe it, but that's usually the classic logic and paradigm behind a boxer versus the brawler paradigm. And what you had was Errol Spence, even though he didn't do it in a dramatic fashion, he still out-brawled a brawler. Many people, when they go back and rewatch this fight, they're going to see a different fight. Because when you first look at it, you just want to see Errol Spence completely dominate. You know, whether you're a fan or a hater, you want to see if Errol Spence is going to be able to dominate Sean Porter. A lot of expert people, you know, like shouts out to Showbiz the Adult, I think he hit the nail on the head the closest as far as Sean Porter was trying to show that the God could bleed, or he was given the analogy of the Rocky versus Apollo. He just wanted to be standing at the end of 12 rounds and show his heart. I think that was a very, very accurate analogy. But at the end of the day, if you were just there to see Errol Spence completely dominate when you first watched that fight, it might take you back a little bit and say, man, what's going on? What's happening? But when you go back and you rewatch that fight, and you can appreciate all the nuances and all the shots, the back and forth, to me was clearly Errol Spence brawling and out-brawling the brawler, and he had to take on some punishment. He had to take and give and take. But there were a lot of shots. There were a lot of shots where Sean Porter was hurt. There were some shots that looked like, I wouldn't say that Errol Spence was ever hurt, but he definitely took on a few more shots than what was expected, and he had to make adjustments, and it was an awkward fight. It was an awkward fight. It looked sloppy, but at the end of the day, you still had him with what was that, like an overhand or hook? He pushed him up with an uppercut, and then came around, and when he hit Sean Porter just went, in slow motion. When you see that fight with his eyes rolling back and everything, that was a hell of a punch that dropped Sean Porter. And I don't think Sean Porter has ever been hit and dropped in that fashion in any fight with Kell Brook, with the flash knockdown with Adrian Broner. He looked, I can't say hurt against Ugas, just got outboxed against Ugas, but that was the worst you ever seen even Sean Porter get hit and get hurt, and he shook it off like a champ and said, bring it on. So once again, salute. Who else fought that night? Yeah, Anthony Durrell versus David Benavidez. That was a great fight. That was a good fight, good card overall. They both started off, I think, sticking to their game plan, but it looked like Benavidez was definitely the stalker, was cutting off the ring. The fight kind of took off a little slower than I thought it would, but once Anthony Durrell suffered that cut, it was like deja vu, like Yogi Berra says, man, deja vu all over again. Now instead of cut here, now he's cut here, now he's cut here. It's just one of those situations where he showed heart. You can tell that was taking the life out of him but he didn't want to quit. He didn't want to he didn't want to quit on the stool. He didn't want to quit. His cornerman, was leaving it up to him, which I thought that they could have done.
That you're allowed to use, which is a adrenaline 1-to-1,000 solution.
Knowing their fighter and saying we're going to go ahead and throw in the towel, it shouldn't have taken the officials to come in and call off the fight. But Darrell showed heart with him. You could tell that he was. I was like, mercy. I was like, mercy, call the fight. There's no need to lose an eye. You know what I'm saying? He proved what he could prove. He fighting against a younger, bigger dude. They both showed good heart. I can't take anything away from Anthony Darrell. I just think he just, he suffered an unfortunate cut, and it was nasty. It was a nasty cut, and Benavidez took advantage. He started throwing perfect combinations, the same combinations you saw Benavidez landing on Sean Porter in their sparring lesson. The same combinations he started landing, easy punches at will, and he started to batter Darrell around the ring. I knew it was over then. It wasn't no coming back. I thought he was going to quit actually in the corner, or his cornerman was going to stop the fight in the corner, and they didn't. They let him come out that last round, and I knew that was a wrap. But other than that, man, great night of boxing. Salute goes out to all the fighters, all the boxing fans. I hope the hate level is at a low. I hope that the hate level is at an all-time low. I know it's going to be a few little creepy crawlers that come out and have something negative to say. But at the end of the day, man, salute to the real, death to the fake. I can't hear the fake. I feel like that was a great night of boxing. You can't take anything away from Errol Spence. At the end of the day, it was bitter-sweet. And when I say bitter-sweet, so what I was saying is, it's bittersweet. And what I mean by bittersweet when it comes to Errol Spence's victory over Sean Porter, and this is where I need you to pay attention. It's bittersweet only because the bitterness is him not dominating and knocking Sean Porter out. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying, people. It's bitter for him have not to dominate it and knock out Errol Spence. But it's sweet. It's sweet that he got the victory, won, and dropped and knocked down Sean Porter in a fashion still that nobody else was able to do. So bittersweet, I take it. Salute to Sean Porter. Salute to Errol Spence. To all my YouTube subscribers, any new subscribers, I appreciate you for rocking with me. This is Nocturnal Thoughts, signing off. Give it a peace and a salute to the real. Death to the fake. I'm out, people.